The hidden tax that quietly eats middle-class wealth. Have you ever had this moment where you look at your paycheck and think, okay, I make decent money. I'm not struggling. I should be further ahead than this. Like, you're doing the right things. You got the job, your income has gone up over the years, you're not blowing money on yachts or designer bags, and yet, somehow, your bank account never really moves. Your net worth feels stuck. And every year, it's like the finish line quietly takes a step back. If that sounds familiar, here's the uncomfortable truth. There's a tax you're paying that never shows up on a statement, isn't taken out of your paycheck, and hits the middle class harder than almost anyone else. And most people don't even realize it's happening. My name is Nick, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, wealth, and why so many financially responsible people still feel stuck. If you're someone who works hard, earns a solid income, but constantly feels like your progress is slower than it should be, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, we're talking about the hidden tax that quietly eats middle-class wealth. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Here's the thing. Most people think the biggest enemy to building wealth is not earning enough, not investing early enough, or making one big financial mistake. Look, those things matter, but they're not the real problem. The real problem is something far more boring, far more subtle, and way more destructive over time. It's not what you spend, it's how your spending changes as your life changes, and that's where this hidden tax lives. The hidden tax actually is. The hidden tax is lifestyle inflation combined with fixed cost creep. I know that sounds abstract, so let's make this painfully real. Lifestyle inflation is when your spending rises as your income rises. That part most people have heard of. But fixed cost creep is where things get dangerous. These are expenses that lock in, feel normal, and are incredibly hard to reverse. Things like housing, car payments, insurance, subscriptions, child-related costs, and baseline comfort upgrades. And unlike actual taxes, this one compounds. A relatable story. Let me tell you a story that is going to sound uncomfortably familiar. Let's say you're 25 years old. You make $45,000 a year. You rent a modest place. You drive a reliable used car. You save a little, invest a little. Then you do well. At 30, you're making $70,000. So you upgrade your apartment, upgrade your car, start eating out a bit more, add a few subscriptions, take nicer vacations. Nothing crazy, all reasonable. Then at 35, you're making $95,000. Now you buy a house, your car payment increases, insurance goes up, utilities go up, maintenance shows up. Your minimum monthly spend explodes, and suddenly your lifestyle requires your income. That's the hidden tax. The stat that should terrify you. According to data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, middle-income households spend roughly 75 to 85% of their take-home pay on fixed and semi-fixed expenses. Not luxuries, not reckless spending, just life. And here's what most people don't realize. Once expenses become fixed, they feel invisible. You stop questioning them. That's when wealth quietly stops growing. The math. Clear, real dollar figures. Let's walk through the math. Imagine two people. Person A makes $70,000, lives on $45,000, invests $10,000 per year. Person B makes $100,000, lives on $80,000, invests $5,000 per year. Person B feels richer, bigger house, better car, more comfort. But over 30 years, assuming a 7% return, person A ends up with $1 million. Person B ends up with $500,000. Same intelligence, same effort, different exposure to the hidden tax. This is where it gets really interesting. The middle class doesn't get crushed by one big decision. They get crushed by 1,000 small, reasonable upgrades. Each one feels justified, each one feels earned, each one feels harmless. But together, they form a permanent tax on your future freedom. The psychology behind it. Now, you might be thinking, Okay, Nick, but what's the alternative? Never enjoy life? Look, this isn't about deprivation, it's about adaptation. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. It means humans adjust to new levels of comfort insanely fast. That new car smell? Gone in weeks. That bigger house becomes normal. That upgraded lifestyle becomes the baseline, but the payments, those stick around. The most dangerous part. Here's the part that really frustrates me. Middle-class earners often optimize for monthly affordability, not long-term impact. They ask, can I afford this payment? Instead of, what does this cost me over 20 years? A $700 car payment isn't $700. It's lost investments, lost flexibility, lost freedom. At 7% growth, that payment could be over $300,000 in future value. That's the tax. Why the middle class gets hit hardest. High-income earners can absorb mistakes. Low-income earners are forced to be efficient. The middle class sits in the danger zone. Enough money to upgrade, not enough margin to undo it. So they feel successful, but stuck. Addressing objections. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Nick, but housing is expensive, cars are expensive, life is expensive. Yes, absolutely. But here's what most people don't realize. The decision isn't house versus no house. It's flexibility versus fragility. It's about how much of your income is spoken for before you even wake up. A simple analogy. Think of your finances like a backpack. Every fixed cost is a rock. At first, it's fine. Then it gets heavy. Then you can't move fast anymore. The problem isn't one rock. It's refusing to take any out. Actionable steps. Very important. Here's what you can do starting this month. 1. Calculate